Hello and welcome back to another Katz Co video. Now, I've spent the last couple of videos talking about fairly general things, mainly about how brilliant the Isle of Man is, of course, and how low our taxes are. But today I'm going to switch back onto something a bit more technical, which will at least will be interesting to the crypto people, if not the rest of you. So I'm going to talk about the crypto assets reporting framework, you lucky people. So what is it? Well, it's a tax transparency measure which has been promoted by the OECD, if that's the right word, and it's been taken up by 69 or 70 jurisdictions now. And the idea is that if you are a crypto exchange, you will need to provide information about your customers and their transactions to a local tax authority. And in the UK, of course, local tax authority is HMRC. Here in the Isle of Man, it's our income tax division. So what information are they going to provide and what are the relevant reporting periods? So the information they're going to provide is going to be your name, your address, and your tax identifier. They're also going to provide details of any cryptos, altcoins, whatever that you've been dealing with. And thirdly, they're going to provide the ledger balances and all of the transactions that have taken place during the reporting period. And then that information is going to be provided to the relevant tax authority, which, as I say, is HMRC in the case of the UK. First reporting period is the 1st of January 2026, ending on the 31st of December 2026. And the crypto exchanges in the UK will need to provide that information to HMRC by the 31st of May 2027. Now, I'm sure everybody is accounting for and paying their taxes correctly. So, on that basis, what is the problem with this? Well, I think the problem potentially is one of security because we know these days that we hear in the news all about hacks of one sort or another and safety of various security and information being lost. Well, this is a lot of very important information, firstly being transmitted between the exchange and the tax authority, and then secondly being transmitted between tax authorities internationally. And that information is extremely sensitive because it includes your name, it includes your address, and it includes your crypto balances and potentially a good detail of your wealth. And if that information was to fall into the hands of bad actors, and they will be trying to get hold of it, I am sure, then you can probably expect either to be blackmailed at the best, or at the worst, you may get a knock on your door and very bad people will greet you on the other side, which will be very unpleasant indeed. So, what can you do to protect yourself from this risk? Well, firstly, let me just stress you need to pay all of your taxes correctly, of course. But if you do not wish to be reported under this, then I guess the first thing to do is to think about self custody. A lot of you will already do that, but self custody is the best protection in terms of removing any unnecessary information and wealth from the exchanges. That's the first thing. The second thing, I suppose, going forward is to think carefully about what interaction you have with the exchanges during the reporting period, which wallets you're using to do that, and what information you are disclosing, and not to disclose anything more than you actually need to. Thirdly, I wonder if people will try and find ways to, for example, avoid reporting exchanges by going to jurisdictions that have not signed up for CARF. For example, I don't think Thailand has currently signed up, so people could use exchanges there, at least for a few years, I suppose. Also, I wonder if peer to peer transactions between crypto people will become more popular. Of course, if there's no professional intermediary, then there will be no reporting. Fourthly, maybe there will be a rise in the use of things like mixers and privacy coins, which I'm not going to talk about here, but that will be interesting to see. So, what about the Isle of Man perspective on this? Well, of course, the Isle of Man will sign up for CARF. It has already committed to do so. I don't think that our tax authorities, the Income Tax Division, will be very interested by the information that they receive because, of course, we don't pay any capital gains tax in the Isle of Man anyway. But, of course, the privacy and security matters that I mentioned still stand as potential risks. So the same thing needs to be taken into account. Of course, it is a little bit safer here, so probably you're less likely to have the bad people turning up at your door, but you never know, so probably not a risk worth taking. But anyway, I hope that was interesting, and I look forward to seeing you next time.